Well, I got swamped yesterday. I guess repeat business is good business. I always like to get, to me, finding new customers is more exciting than repeat customers, but repeat customers pay too, so it's great news. So I got a call yesterday. No, actually, yeah, I was out making a Dollar General run, and somebody called me and said, "Hey, I'm here. I got a weed eater. Can you look at it?" And it's the guy who mows grass around here. He does it for a living. I said, "Yeah, just leave it over on the porch." I mean, he's been here. He knows what's going on, and I'll be over and I'll work on it. So got here, and it just needed an air filter. That was it. So I put an air filter and a fuel filter on it, gave it back to him. Yeah, well, actually, no, I called him. I said, "Yeah, there was something wrong." I could tell there was something wrong because he messaged me about an hour later and says, "When will you be back?" And I said, "Oh, I'm back now. I was just sitting down to tell you that you're weed eater, son." That's what it is. He says, "My guys are over at the gas station cutting the grass over there. Can you go over there?" And there's one of my mowers is locked up. I said, "Sure." So I grabbed the weed eater, I put it in the back of the truck, and I took it over there. And I looked at it, and it was locked up. And I called him, and I told him, "Yeah, it's locked up." And I can demonstrate a little bit here real quick. Okay, so you heard it sound like it just crashed. So I tried to spin it over by hand while I was up there, and it wouldn't spin over. So got to looking, and the starter is in the up position, and you can't turn it. So when you pound the starter back down, then you can turn it. So that was easy to diagnose, and they brought it over to me, and we'll get a new starter on it. The good thing is, this guy's always on a budget. I mean, he's in a terrible budget all the time. So gotta work with him. But then when he brings this one down, he says, "I got some more bad news. This one over here, the belt broke, and says there's a pulley." You saw the belt right there, I assume. It says there's a pulley that was all wobbly. Well, he's tried to repair this pulley and has made it terrible. It bent this, so I've straightened all this already. And he had this bolt in there. I don't like the use of that bolt there, but I don't have a choice anymore because he has stripped out the hole. So that would mean that I would have to, I don't know, weld the hole back up and drill it out and tap it. So, and like I said, he's always on a budget, so he wouldn't be willing to pay for it. So I put a locking nut or washer in there. I put some Loctite on the bottom bolt down there at the bottom. Hopefully that'll stay in better. And then, as we're getting these two unloaded, one of his crew guys was driving the lawnmower down on this Cub Cadet. The belt fell off of it too. Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over here. And I've worked on this one several times. Actually, I want to check out the seal. I think it's okay. I don't think the seal's leaking anymore. Yeah, see, I worked on this seal a while back, and it seems to be holding. I don't feel any oil around it. So that's good news. So I've worked on this, but anyway, he said the belt fell off. And I keep trying to convince this guy he needs to put these covers on the spindle here because it just wears out these belts. And he says, I've done it this way my entire life and I've never had a problem. Well, you're having a problem now, but you maybe see that it's just wears out the belts because it goes off track, tears the belt every time it goes off track, and they put it back on. So I would suspect he's never had a problem with automatic PTOs, you know, one with you pull the button. But when you have to engage it manually, that means you disengage it and that loosens the belt. So he promised he will bring those covers over. I doubt it. So what else we got? I mean, he's going to be up with a high bill. All three of his mowers are here. And then his brother has a mower that they're going to use, but it needed work too. The problem with that was the choke isn't engaging. And back here, you can see this is the choke here. This is not the one they were talking about, but if that is not adjusted correctly, the choke, the cable, the choke cable, if that's not adjusted correctly. So I told them how to do that. That'd save them a little bit of money. They wouldn't have to pay me. So I mean, I'm not here to rip anybody off. I would like to get the business, but I also don't want him going broke. So it'd be hard to get business if he's broke. And then this mower showed up pretty late in the day. It's a little push mower. And man, they drove a long ways to get here. A long ways. And he says, this is a brand new mower. It's only 2 years old. Well, that's not true. It's 11 years old, right? Let's see, it was 14. This is 20. Yeah, 11 years old. And he says, it's been sitting out in the weather. And I wanted you to work on it. So ignore all this stuff. I was trying to find parts. This did not have an air filter housing on it, and the choke is all clogged. I mean, the rusted shut. It was rusted shut. So I've been trying to find a part number because this one is completely faded. Can't read it. So I took the top off and I was looking for it. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Then I realized it was covered in dust. So I started cleaning everything to see if I could find it. Finally, I found it. It took me an hour to find a part number. So then I was able to order a new carburetor, a new filter housing, new filter. So, like I said, this is off another mower that I've got sitting up there. That's not to this mower. It doesn't fit. Well, it fits, but not correctly. I could use it, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. So I was just telling you yesterday, you know, business. I've been sitting around here for 3 days and hadn't had anybody call or anything. And here we are, just swamped. So it's repeat business. That's a good thing. Like I said, there's a part of me inside of me somewhere that says, this is not a new customer, so this is like cheating. Repeat business is like cheating. I think YouTube has taught me that. YouTube is constantly telling you, you got to get new subscribers, you got to get new subscribers. And you know, you're like, well, don't you want to appeal to the old subscribers? Yeah, but you got to get new subscribers. Well, how do you do that if so I guess it's trained me, you know, you got to get new customers. So what else is going on? It's going to get real hot here. Of course, we don't have air conditioning. We do have air conditioning. We could go down into the camper and sit in there and cool off, or we can go for a drive and cool off in the truck. So if it gets too extremely hot, we do have ways of cooling off. But it's the thing is, it's not going to get terribly hot. The heat index is what's going to be bad. We're going to get in 105. I mean, we've been in the 90s already this year, and we didn't die. I don't know what the heat index was, but I think that what they do is they try to convince you it's going to be really hot, so you're sitting around complaining it's really hot, even though it's not been any hotter. Record heat. No, this is not record heat. There's no way this is record heat. I remember record heat, 105 degrees, and a heat index of 115. This is not record heat, so I don't know what they're saying. It makes no sense to me. But tomorrow I'm going to cut grass. I would do it today, but as soon as I get on that mower, somebody will call. I can guarantee it. So, and I just don't like making Carolyn take phone calls. I mean, she, you know, has social anxiety, so it's pretty hard for her. But then she's got to chase me around the yard on a lawnmower to get me to answer the phone. So it's just easier if I wait until Sunday. And we don't have anything else going on. So my weed trimmer is still, I still didn't get the part for that. Like I told you, I took a cable, the throttle cable off of it so I could repair, well, this guy's weed eater a few days ago. They sent me the wrong one, so I had to send that one back and order a new one. But he needed his weed eater, not more than me, but he is the customer. So I took it off mine and bought one, and then I'll put that new one on mine. So I hate that they sent me the wrong one, but it is what it is. We were able to make it work, and I told him that's what I was going to do. He was fine with it. I mean, Carolyn actually said, well, just give him your weed eater. And I was like, no, my weed eater is a lot nicer than this one. So I didn't want to do that. But anyway, that weed eater, I only spent 50 bucks on. Yeah, and I fixed it up, put a new carburetor on it. I guess that's all I did to it, and it's running great. And that's what's so neat is, well, he was here when we thought that, originally we thought that mower had blown up, and he was trying to figure out what he was going to do, because there was no way he could rebuild that engine or get a new engine. And I said, well, you can get things like the Beast for $100, bring it over here, $200 or $300 later, you'll have a nice running mower. I said, there'll be problems with it, just like with the Beast. Unexpectedly, an ignition coil goes out or something, or a flywheel will break, but you just stay on top of it. And the Beast has been a really nice mower. I mean, like I said, it's old and things are wearing out on it, and you just replace them. I just replaced a wheel bushing on it, just a few days ago. Oh, and it steers so much nicer now, but that wheel was just flopping all over the place. And I just got a set of wheel bushings. What happened was, customer ordered or needed wheel bushing, so I ordered a set, but it came in 4 and he only needed 2. It's 2 per wheel, comes in a set. So I took the other 2 and put it on the Beast. I mean, it wasn't one of those things I really had to replace, but I did. But I really think that's the way to go in his position, the way he abuses lawnmowers. And he doesn't necessarily take care of them as well as he should, because he struggles for money. So, and that's the frustrating thing, not frustrating, but that's, well, for lack of a better word, frustrating thing is he doesn't take care of them. Then when it's really serious, he brings them over to me, and I gotta figure out how to undo a bunch of, like this pulley. He put that bolt in there, and that was a terrible idea. It stripped out the hole and everything. So now I got to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how to fix it without buying a good bolt. I would like to buy the original bolt, but I can't. So, I'll keep him pieced together. He does seem more likely to bring it to me now that he realizes I'm not going to rip him off all the time than he did last year. Last year he wasn't real excited about bringing me things. And no, well, even this spring. No, don't put a belt on it. I'll get a belt. But the thing is I was working on that Cub Cadet, is what it was, and it needed a carburetor. So I put the carburetor on, and I put a belt on. His guys told me to do it, not him, and it was miscommunication. But so I put a belt on it, and he's like, no, I didn't want a belt. The thing is I didn't charge him any extra labor to put the belt on. I was already working on it, so it is what it is. You pay the same price, except now you're adding the belt cost. Anyway, I guess I'll jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. Really appreciate it if you go check it out. So I hope I can inspire you to be patient so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.